Ladies and gentlemen, may I have your attention, please? Welcome to the Poplar Pike Playhouse's current production. The fire marshal requires that we make the following announcement before every performance. There are 4 fire exits in the Poplar Pike Playhouse. They are located in all 4 corners of the auditorium. Also, the taking of photographs or making of recordings is strictly forbidden due to royalty agreements. Thank you, and we hope you enjoy our show.
Snowstorms blow and fall, cover trails and pathways all. Let none intrude by foot or sleigh, nor man nor devil find his way into the woods this year's last day, into the woods this year's last day.
Take over the management, Mother Winter. Everything's in order. There's plenty of snow. The birches have it up to their waists, and the pine trees up to their knees. Now it'll do no harm if the frost lets itself go. We've lived behind the clouds most of our time, but you can have the sun to play with during your turn.
Thank you, brother. I can see you've done a good job. And how is your ice on the streams and lakes? Is it strong?
It holds up all right, but it wouldn't be a bad idea to freeze it a little more.
It'll freeze. You can depend on me. And, well, how are the forest people?
As they're supposed to be.
To look around! You'd think that the forest was empty, deserted. But it won't fool me. I know the hare is somewhere about. The squirrels in the hollow, the ravens up in a twig, and the pheasants, well, they're in the snowdrifts. How I'd love to eat them all up.
Liar! You can't eat a bell.
Shut up, you fool! I'm so hungry my belly's aching. My teeth are chapped.
Crack, go your way, stranger. If that's gonna keep you from danger. I am a sharp-eyed raven, and from this tree I can see all of 30 miles away.
Well, what do you see?
Soldier!
She, a soldier, is marching down the road. Oh, he is carrying the wolf's death across his shoulder. And at his side, the wolf's prowl is swinging. Oh, where are you off to, wolf?
The hare!
I caught the wolf this time. It's cold. Oh. It's New Year's Eve tonight, and we're having a regular New Year's Eve frost. You can hear it crackle. It would be a good thing for me to spread out my wings, do a little flying and warm myself. But I've grown too old. Too old.
My stars is cold! So cold that takes your breath away and the snow freezes your paws as you run. Hey, squirrel! Let's in spite of the frost. My tail's too short, she said. Her very words. I wouldn't have believed it if I hadn't heard it with my own ears.
Well, hello there, my pretty one. And what's making you so happy? Have you found a treasure trove or heard some good news?
No.
Well, come on, tell us what's so funny. Maybe I can have a good laugh with you also.
You won't believe me.
Well, I don't know about that. We soldiers have heard and seen a lot of things in our lives. We believe, all right, but we don't let anybody fool us.
Here, on this very spot, a hare and 2 squirrels are playing burn a minute ago.
Oh, is that so?
Cross my heart, just like the kids playing in the streets. Fire burn high, flame never die. The hare went chasing after the squirrels, when ups, up a tree they went. And not only that, they kept teasing him from the tree. Come on up here, jump!
And they spoke like that in our own language.
They did.
Now, what do you know?
You see, you don't believe me.
Oh, not believe you on a day like today? Why, today as you know it is the end of the old year and the beginning of the new. And my grandfather said that on a day like today, anything can happen in the world. You just have to look sharp not to miss it. So it's not too marvelous a thing to see squirrels and hares playing burn. Even more amazing things have happened on New Year's Eve.
What things? What things?
Well, my grandfather once said that on New Year's Eve, his grandfather met all 12 months together.
Really?
Cross my heart, it was such a sight that he could never forget it. He went home and he told his son about it and ordered him to tell all of the grandchildren. That's how I came to know the story.
But I don't see how winter, summer, spring, and fall can all come together. That's impossible.
Well, I only say what I know. Now, tell me something else. What has brought you out here on such a cold day? I mean, I've been sent here by my superiors, but why are you here?
I haven't come of my own free will either.
Oh, are you a servant?
No, I live at home.
Then how did your mother let you out?
My mother wouldn't have let me out. My stepmother did. She told me to pick brushwood.
So you're an orphan?
Poor orphan! I'm so sick of hearing about that poor, stupid orphan!
The poor orphan, they say. What is it that poor orphan lacks?
Nothing,
I
nothing,
gave her my own kerchief, gave her your last year's shoes, and the amount of bread I give her. Now the girl wouldn't know how to thank you enough. Come, dear.
Get everything! What's so poor about that?
Guess that would explain why you have such hand-me-down gear. Well, I'll tell you what, I'll help you see to your business, and then afterwards, I'll see to my own.
And what is your business?
Well, I have to cut down a grand fir tree for a party.
Who will you be cutting it for?
For the queen, of course.
Well, what will be on the tree?
Same as everybody. Some toys, knickknacks, even some dolls.
The queen still plays with dolls.
Well, of course. Why shouldn't she? She may be a queen, but she's no older than you are.
I gave up dolls years ago.
Well, you must be too busy for that. And she has lots of time, nor does she have anyone to give orders to her. Since the old king and queen died, she's been giving orders to everybody.
No matter how many times you tell me why I have arithmetic, I still don't think I need it. So, move on. Tell me of the forest.
But Your Majesty, arithmetic is very important. The forest is inhabited by many species of animals, Your Majesty. First of all, we have your warm-blooded animals, then your cold-blooded animals.
Boring.
Now,
Let's go play with dolls.
Then the queen, too, is an orphan.
Well, it looks that way.
I'm sorry for her.
Well, who wouldn't be? But it looks like your job is done. You have enough brushwood to last you for a week. And I'd better get started on my job and look for a tree.
Thank you. I think I can help you. I know where a tree is that might be exactly what you're looking for. Every twig matches every other twig.
Well, I'd be glad to have you show me. You know, you seem to be so at home here in the forest. It's no wonder squirrels and hares play burn as you look on.
Oh, come on. Let's go. Look out there, in the forest. There's 2 people wearing fur coats standing there behind the pine trees.
What people? Where? Those are just fir trees.
I swear I saw them. A man and a woman in a fur coat and cap.
Well, even on a day like today, the trees are wearing coats and caps. But we'd better get going. Deep in the forest on New Year's Eve, stranger things may leap before your eyes. Let's go.
Lock up the forest for tonight. No more going in or out.
All right, I will.
Winter storm, grim and white, with the snow into flight. Make it curl, make it whirl, in a dance of fury swirl. Spread your cloak upon the ground, all the woods with snow around. Turn the key in the lock, every path and passage block. Turn the key in the lock, every path and passage block.
Perfectly correct, Your Majesty. The ancient poets knew what they were doing when they dispensed of all writing implements. That's why science classes its work as oral literature. However, I beg Your Majesty to inscribe 4 more lines with your beautiful royal hand, please.
All right. Dictate them.
Here we are. Soft and green is the grass. The sun is in the sky. The swallow at our door announces that spring is nigh.
I'll write only soft and green is the grass. Soft and gray.
With an E.
That's what I wrote. Green. Green is. Good morning, Chancellor.
Good morning, Your Majesty. Pardon the interruption, Professor. May I request you to attach your signature to 1 proclamation and 3 decrees?
More writing. Very well, but I won't write the grass. Show me your papers.
Thank you, Your Majesty. Now I beg leave to ask you to inscribe.
Inscribe again.
Only signify your royal will on this petition.
Oh, what is it I have to write?
1 of 2 things, Your Majesty. Either hang or pardon.
Pardoned. Hang. I'll write hang. It's shorter.
It's easy to say shorter.
What was that?
Oh, I mean, what you said just now.
Have I made some mistake? How do you want me to write it? Hanged?
No, you spelled hang perfectly correct. It's just that, well, you've made a terrible mistake.
What's that?
Well, you've just decided somebody's fate without thinking about it first.
Thinking. I can't write and think at the same time.
You don't need to do that, Your Majesty. First you think, then you write, of course.
If I listened to you, then all I would do would be think, and eventually go out of my mind. But fortunately, I don't listen to you. So, let's continue with our lesson. Ask me some question, but ask me quickly or I'll be here forever.
Yes, Your Majesty. Permit me to ask, Your Majesty, what 7 times 8 makes?
I cannot recall. It never interested me much. Did it interest you?
Of course it did, Your Majesty, because arithmetic is very important. Now,
Extraordinary. Well, goodbye. Our lesson is finished. Tomorrow's New Year's Day, and I have an awful lot to see to.
as it may please, Your Majesty.
It pleases. You know, really, it's much better to be a queen than an ordinary schoolgirl. Everyone listens to me, even my teacher. Tell me, Professor, what would you have done if any other pupil had refused to answer what 7 times 8 makes?
I dare not say, Your Majesty.
It's all right. I'll permit you.
I would have put her in the corner.
Corner? Which one? This or that?
It really doesn't make that much of a difference, Your Majesty. This corner, that corner, be any.
Really?
Yes.
I prefer this corner. It looks much cozier.
That's nice.
Well, what would you do if she persisted in refusing to answer your question?
Well, I beg to be forgiven, of course, Your Majesty, but I would have let her go without dinner.
Without dinner? But suppose she was expecting some royal ambassador or some foreign prince.
I'm not talking about a queen, Your Majesty. I'm talking about an ordinary schoolgirl, of course.
Ordinary schoolgirls. I expect you're a very cool man.
What?
Did you know I could have you executed? This very day if I wanted to.
Your Majesty, I don't understand
Yes,
what
I can, and I think I shall.
But Your Majesty, what have I done to displease? I don't understand.
Well, I don't know. But if I
much is 6 times 6, Your Majesty?
11?
That's perfectly correct. And how much is 7 times 8, Your Majesty?
3?
That's correct again. And how much is...
Oh, always how much? You're such an inquisitive man. You keep asking questions. Why don't you tell me something interesting yourself?
You want me to tell you something interesting, Your Majesty? What sort of thing?
I don't know. Something about the New Year, perhaps. Tomorrow's New Year's Day, isn't it?
Why, yes, Your Majesty. A new year will begin tomorrow. A year consists of 12 months, Your Majesty.
Does it really?
Well, exactly 12 months. Let's see, the months are January, February, March, April, May, June, then July.
Right, there's a number of them, and you know each one by name.
Of course.
You have a wonderful memory.
Thank you, Your Majesty. Then comes August, September, October, November, and finally December.
Imagine that.
Now, each month follows each other. Immediately, one month ends and the other begins. There's never been a known case where April came before March, or September came before August, or anything like that.
Really? And what if I should want April to come immediately?
I'm afraid that can't be done, Your Majesty. I'm sorry.
Arguing again?
No, it's not either argue with you, Your Majesty, but the laws of nature.
Laws of nature? Well, suppose I make a new law. Stamp it with the Great Seal.
I'm afraid that won't help either. But Your Majesty, you'll hardly need a change in the calendar. Why, each month brings us new gifts and pastimes. Well, for example, in December, January, and February, we have ice skating, Carnival Week, and the holiday tree. And in March, a thaw sets in. And in April, the first snowdrops come out from underneath the melting snow, and everybody goes...
Oh, I want it to be April now! I love snowdrops. I've never seen them.
April's only a short time off, Your Majesty. Only 3 months or 90 days. Then we can go...
90? I can hardly wait 3 days. Tomorrow's New Year's Day, and I want those, what do you call them, snowdrops to decorate my table.
But the laws of nature, Your
The
Majesty.
laws of nature. We'll make a new law. Hey there! Chancellor! You sit at my desk and write. It's my turn to dictate. Soft and green is the grass. The sun is in the sky. Well, right as I say.
Soft and green is the grass. The sun is in the sky.
And flowers are blossoming in our royal forests. Therefore, I graciously command that a basket full of snowdrops be brought to the palace immediately. The person carrying out the sovereign wish will be rewarded right royally. Now, what can I give them? Wait, don't write that down. I know. Now write. We will give that person as much gold as will fill their basket.
We will give that person as much gold as will fill their basket.
And present him with a velvet coat lined with silver foxes.
And present them with a velvet coat
lined with silver foxes.
Permit him to take part in the Royal New Year's drive through the city.
And permit him to take part in our Royal
New Year's drive through the city.
You're smart. Now, have you all got all that? Now you're slow.
And to take part in our Royal New Year's drive through the city. I'm sorry, Your Majesty. It's been a long time since I've taken a dictation, and
And why, hand me your quill, and I'll inscribe my royal name.
That's very good, Your Majesty.
Put seals on this, and take measures that everyone in the land knows my decree.
Put the seal on this. As Your Majesty commands.
Yes, it's my command, and you must follow it.
Cold.
This basket! What do you mean, that basket? Look how small that basket is! This is the old basket, that's the new basket. Would you rather have this much gold or that much gold? This, that, this. What if she doesn't come back to the snowdrops and she loses it? Oh, Raymond! How dare you hit your mother? Nelson! Oh, how dare you! Back. Is it snowing hard outside? So hard you can't tell the ground from the sky. It's as if you're walking on clouds. I don't know how I managed to get home. Snowstorms are what you expect in winter. There hasn't been anything like it this year. And there won't be again. How do you know there won't? That's simple. It's the end of the year. Oh, I see. You haven't been so badly frozen that you can't talk in riddles. Look, have you warmed yourself enough? There's
something else you've got to go do now.
What is it? Is it far?
Not too near, but not too far either.
You've got to go to the
The
forest.
forest? What for? I've run the brushwood back to last a whole week.
What's brushwood? You're to get snowdrops.
I didn't realize you were joking at first. For a minute there, I thought you were serious. There's nothing easier than losing your life at a time like this. The wind just whirls you around and blows you right over.
I'm not joking. Haven't you heard about the Queen's Royal Proclamation?
No.
Well, you don't know much about anything, do you? The Queen has offered a ride in her sleigh through the city, a fur-lined coat, and a big basket full of gold to anyone who can bring her snowdrops for the new year.
This isn't the season for snowdrops. This is winter.
If it was spring, you wouldn't be offered gold for them, but coppers.
Well, no more arguing. There's your basket.
It's getting dark.
Oh, you shouldn't have stayed out so late getting brushwood.
Maybe I can go tomorrow morning. I'll get up early at daybreak.
Tomorrow morning? I should say not. What if you don't find the flowers until evening? They're not gonna sit at the palace and wait on you. They need the flowers for the New Year's party.
How am I supposed to see anything if it gets dark?
Have to do is bend lower and look sharper. Everything's stupid.
I'm not going.
What do you mean?
Don't you have any pity for me at all? If I go to the forest now, I'll never come back.
Then am I to go instead of you?
I don't need the gold.
You don't need anything. You
Oh,
have
precious,
everything.
what
You
is
have
it?
everything.
Family
And what
day.
you don't
Yeah,
have, you know, you grab from your stepmother's
basket
sister.
full of gold. Are you going or not? Yes or no? No? I'll go. She can sit here and warm herself.
What are you doing, you fool? Oh, sit down. You there, quick. Take a kerchief, take a basket and get it. And mind you find out that you have been hiding it out in some neighbor's house. I will not let you back into this one. You can die outside.
Papa, see you don't return without my snowdrops.
Push love one. She doesn't know how to shut the door. Shut it tight, dear Liz. It's time.
We're gonna get the gold and we're gonna get to go to the palace. Gold.
Snowcat falls and I imagine somebody is jumping up behind me from the tree. But who could it be at an hour like this? Even the animals are hiding in their holes. Looks like I'm the only one out. I'm not going any farther. I'll stay right here. Doesn't matter where I freeze to death. Heavens, it's dark. Maybe I should cry out. Call for help! Somebody might hear me! Some huntsman or woodsman coming home late from work. Yoo-hoo! Yoo-hoo! What am I to do now? Just sit here and wait for the end? They can smell a human being a long way up. Stay right here. They won't be able to find me here.
I smell human flesh. No, I'll have a fine supper for New Year's Eve.
Oh, you watch out, little one. The play is not for you. No.
Oh, it's you again, old wizard. You fooled me this evening. You won't do it this time. I sense a prayer.
Oh, well, if you sense it, perhaps you were telling me what's on your right, what's on your left, and what's right ahead of you.
You think I don't know?
No.
A bush on my right. A bush on my left. And a dainty morsel straight ahead.
A snail is on your right, a poison is on your left, and a pitfall is right ahead. If the only road left for you, Wolf, is the one going back. Where are you off to, Wolf?
I run where I please. Mind your own business.
Oh, the wolf has run away. Oh, the wolf is old, but I am older. He is cunning, but I am more so. I will trick him many a time yet. Oh, and you, pretty one, wake up. You mustn't doze and get lost. You'll freeze to death. Wake up.
Don't sleep or you'll freeze to death.
Who spoke to me? Who's there? It was just the pine cone that fell on me and woke me up. And I was having such a nice dream, too. Now, what did I dream of? I have it! I was dreaming of my mother, and she was walking through the house carrying a lantern, and the light hit me, right between the eyes. I think I see a light out there in the distance. Maybe it's a campfire. I do seem to smell the smoke. And maybe I'm just imagining it, but I do seem to hear the brushwood crackling.
Burn, burn brighter, warm the winter air. Bring a hotter summer and a spring more fair. Fire burn high, flame never die. Fire burn high, flame never die.
Burn with the crackle that very soon may grow, and the woods and copses covered now by snow.
Let the bees make honey for the world to eat.
Let the fields turn golden with flaming stalks of wheat.
Fire burn high, flame never die. Fire burn high, flame never die. Fire burn high, flame never die. Fire burn high, flame never die.
Good evening.
And a good evening to you.
I hope I'm not intruding. If not, may I warm myself by your fire?
What do you say, brothers, sisters? Shall we permit her?
There's never been a case before of a stranger sharing this fire with us.
That's true, but if somebody has seen our lights, let him warm himself.
Let her warm herself. It won't make our fire any colder.
Well, come up, my beauty. But mind you don't burn yourself. You see what fire we have. It fairly blazes.
It's wonderful here. Your fire is so light and hot. It's gone straight to my heart. Thank you. I'm warm now.
That's a basket you're carrying, isn't it, my girl? Have you come to gather cones on New Year's Eve and in such a snowstorm?
The forest needs rest too. You can't just go on stripping it of everything.
Well, I haven't come of my own free will, nor to pick pine cones.
Mushrooms, then.
Flowers. Not mushrooms. My stepmother sent me here to pick snowdrops.
You hear? She's come for snowdrops.
I'd laugh with you too, but I'm past laughter. My stepmother told me not to return home without them.
You're in a bad way, my dear. This is not the season for snowdrops. You'll have to wait till the month of April.
I know that, Mother. Only I had nowhere else to go. Well, thank you for your kindness and for letting me warm myself. I hope I'm not intruding too much.
Wait. Don't go. Just wait. Mother Winter, give me a place for an hour.
I don't mind, but April can't come before March.
Don't worry about me. What do you say, February?
All right, March. I'll withdraw for an hour as well.
That being so, I bow to your wish. Winter frosts that crackle and shine, stop gnawing the bark of birch and vine, stop chilling the blood of crow and hare, stop freezing the peasant and his men.
Storms and hurricanes, blow now with all your might. Whirlwinds, gales, and squalls, blow sweeping through the night. Roar you in the clouds, shaking the world below. Twist down over the fields, a white snake in the snow. Now the snow is darker, melting on the ground. The ice is breaking on the lake, crackling all around. The sky looks higher, bluer, the clouds race faster now. The sparrow chirps and twitters, perched upon the bough. Trails and paths grow muddy, each day brings brighter dawn. And all the pussy willows put silver earrings on. Flow streams to every side, puddles spread out wide. Ants come into the sun, a warmer time's begun. The bear trudges along, the lark sings a song, and here before the showers, the early snows of flowers.
I don't understand. Can it be that just for my sake, spring has come in the middle of winter? I don't believe my eyes.
You can believe it or not as you please, but hurry up and pick your snowdrops, or winter will be back before you filled your basket.
I'll go right now, right away. They're everywhere. They're on the hillocks and under the hillocks, in the clearings and in the thickets, under the trees and under the stones. And they all have such downy, velvety stems, petals clear as crystal. Thank you, Months. If it weren't for you, I'd never have seen the sun or the spring snowdrops again. Thank you. Every day I live, I'll thank you for every flower I pick.
Don't thank me. Thank my brother April. He pleaded for you and brought the snowdrops out from under the snow so that you might pick them.
Thank you, month of April. I've always welcomed you, and now that I've seen you face to face, I'll never forget you.
And to make sure that you don't forget me, here's a ring. Look at it from time to time and think of me. And if you're ever in any trouble, throw it onto the ground or into the water or into a snowdrift and say,
Roll on my little ring, onto the porch of spring, into the summer hall, through the house of fall, over winter's carpet white. 'White. 'To the brothers' campfire bright, 'to the brothers' campfire bright.
And we will come.
All 12 of us.
One after another. Have you remembered what to say?
I have. Roll on my little ring, onto the porch of spring, into the summer hall, through the house of fall, over winter's carpet wide, to the brothers Kemper Road.
And now I must tell you something. It has come to you this last day of the old year and first day of the new, when you shall meet all 12 months at once. You have traveled to us by the shortest road. The others tread the long road, day after day, minute after minute, hour after hour. And that's the way it should be. So don't disclose this road or show it to anyone. This is a forbidden road.
I'd rather die than tell anyone.
That's better. Now remember what I've said and how you've replied. Now run along home before I let loose the snowstorm.
Goodbye, months.
Bye. Hark ye, sisters of the north, through your silver doors come forth. Blizzard, hurricane, and gale fill the earth with moan and wail. Let your stormy dance begin. Set your carousel a-spin. Through the woods and fields blow free. Sound your New Year's revelry. Sound your New Year's revelry.
Told you we needed a bigger basket. They won't even all fit in that one. You begrudged it, now blame yourself.
Oh, who would have thought she'd get back alive? Saying nothing of bringing snowdrops is unheard of. I just can't figure out where she found them.
You haven't asked her?
I didn't have time! By the time I saw what was in the basket, she was asleep, and so soundly you couldn't wake her. The sun was up, and she was still asleep. Had to wash the floor, make a fire myself.
I'll go wake her up. In the meantime, take them and put them in that one. It's your fault anyway. Go!
Won't the basket look rather empty?
Not if you spread the flowers out.
Oh, you're a clever girl. Let's see. How am I to do this? Okay, let's see. Flowers plus what? Plus what? Can I? Oh, dirt! Oh, yes. Oh, nice and warm too. Alrighty. There we go. Flowers love earth. Okay, let's see. Flowers plus dirt plus what? Plus what? Oh, leaves. Oh, yes, yes. Whew. My darling daughter seems to take after me, and between the two of us, there will be no shortage of brains. Look how I've arranged the snowdrops. Isn't it wonderful? Isn't it wonderful?
Look at this. Isn't this wonderful?
A ring! But where did you get it?
Where? I went in there to wake her up. She's dead to the world. So I started shaking her and I grabbed her hand, and there was this little ring shining on her finger. So I took it off real quietly as if not to wake her.
Also, just as I thought.
What were you thinking?
It's clear she didn't pick those snowdrops by herself. Somebody was helping her.
Oh, wow.
Let me see the ring, dear.
No. No, you did everything right.
Go. Oh my goodness, how it sparkles. Oh. Oh. Darling, you try it. Oh, she's noticed it's missing. Oh, quick, hide it in your pocket.
Have a pocket.
Oh, make one up.
Oh.
What's the idea of messing with the flowers?
Where's the basket I brought the snowdrops in?
What do you want it for?
she's a fine one for looking for things. Whoever heard of finding snowdrops in midwinter? Yet she found them.
She's the one who argued that there weren't any. So, where did you find them?
In the forest. For God's sakes, what are you looking for? Have you seen anything around here? How could we find anything here? We haven't lost anything.
Looks as if you've lost something and are afraid to say what it is.
Do you know what it is? Have you seen it?
How could I know what it is? You never show or tell me anything.
If you tell us what you've lost, we may be able to help you find it. I've lost a ring. What? A ring! A ring? But you never had one. I found it in the forest last night. Oh, aren't you the lucky girl? First you find snowdrops, then you find a ring. Quite the little finder, I'd say. So if you look for what you're looking for, you're sure to find it. As for my daughter and I, it's time for us to go to the palace. Wrap up warm, daughter. It's very, very cold outside. Well, what do you need my ring for? Give it back to me. What's that? Crazy.
Don't know what you're talking about.
Sister dear, darling, I know you have my ring. Don't make fun of me. Please give it back. You're going to the palace and the queen will give you anything you want. All I want is my one little ring. Leave her alone, will you? Seems to me you didn't find the ring, but it was given to you and it's dear to his remembrance.
Oh, tell me who gave it to you.
No one. I found it! Well, it's no pain to lose what's easily been found. Get the basket, dear. They must be waiting for us at the palace.
Papa! Walk so slow.
You walk fast. Mother! Oh, sister, please wait! What am I to do now? The months are far away and I can't find them without the ring. Who else can help me? Maybe the queen. After all, the soldier told me she was an orphan. Maybe one orphan will help another orphan. No. They'll never even let me in the palace. Not without my snowdrops. Now it seems as though nothing ever happens. My snowdrops are gone. My ring is gone. All that remains is the brushwood that I brought back from the forest. Fire burn high, flame never die. Goodbye, my New Year's campfire. Goodbye, months. Goodbye, April.
January.
You're mistaken. How many days has December?
How many? 31, Your Majesty.
Well, then, that means today is the 32nd of December.
This is our lovely New Year's joke by Her Majesty.
I'm not joking. And the next day will be the 33rd of December, and the next day the 34th of December, and the next day the 30th. Well, how's it go? You continue.
The 35th.
The 36th.
The 37th.
The 38th.
The 39th. That's impossible!
You're at it again.
Yes! Yes! Your Majesty. Again and again. And you can cut off my head, and you can put me in jail. But there's no such thing as the 39th of December. December has 31 days. Exactly 31 days. This has been proved by science. And 7 times 8, Your Majesty, is 56. And 8 times 8, Your Majesty, is 64. This, too, has been proved by science. And I value science more than I value my own head. Your Majesty. Oh, dear.
Well, well, well. Dear Professor, calm yourself. I'll forgive you this time. But, all the same, December won't end until I get a basket full of snowdrops brought in here.
Your Majesty's wish has been fulfilled. Flowers are already cast before her feet.
Are there any snowdrops?
Very probably.
Then find them.
I suppose one of these flowers is a snowdrop.
What's your opinion?
Oh, well, Your Majesty, I regret to say I only know Latin into plants. As far as I can recall, this right here, this is a Peona albiflorum. And this is a Hydrangea oculoides.
Oculoides. Sounds like the name of a disease.
Well,
Head gardener, what's your opinion?
This, Your Majesty, is a hydrangea. And this is a peony, or Mary's root, as we country folk do call it.
Mary's root. I don't want any Mary's root. I wanted snowdrops. Are there not any snowdrops here?
Your Majesty, a snowdrop is a wildflower. You might say a weed. They grow in the forest, under the hummocks.
Then go to the forest and pick them from under the hummocks.
But, Your Majesty, snowdrops don't grow in the forest at this time of year. They won't appear before April.
What is this? A conspiracy? All everybody keeps saying is April, April. I don't want to hear it again. If I end this day without snowdrops, one of my subjects will end it without a head. Royal prosecutor, who do you think is responsible for me not having snowdrops?
In my opinion, Your Majesty, it's the head gardener's fault.
Oh, Your Majesty!
I answer with my head only for garden plants. For forest plants, it's the head forester who's responsible.
Very well. If I don't get my snowdrops, then both of you shall lose your heads. I'll have my royal chancellor have the decree prepared.
I have everything ready, Your Majesty. All it's left is to put in the name and to fix the seal.
In accordance to the royal decree, these 2 women have brought here a basket full of snowdrops.
Oh, give them to me. Out with you.
Thank you, Your Majesty.
So these are snowdrops.
They are, Your Majesty, fresh snowdrops, fresh from the forest, picked with our own hands.
Now these are real flowers, not like your oculoides or your Mary's root.
These sweet little flowers remind me when I used to be a tiny thing and I used to run about the paths in the park. Oh, this is his new decoration, Your Majesty.
The pity is, it will die soon. I prefer decorations that last a long time.
We have a great many of those already. Just be sure that they too don't die soon. As this is for you, Mr. Royal Prosecutor. Pin it to your cloak. It will make looking at you a more cheerful experience.
Oh, this is the best New Year's Eve gift I've ever received, Your Majesty.
Now I'm glad. That means December has ended in my kingdom as well. You may offer your congratulations. Now!
Happy New Year, Your Majesty!
Thank you. Now To see her in the middle of the dance floor.
I'm not sure I understand what you're talking about. Oh.
Are you talking about me again, Your Majesty?
Oh, no, but only as a change from your constant talk of me. Oh! I'm bored with dancing.
Greetings, Majesty.
Oh, you're still here?
Yes, Your Majesty, waiting for our basket.
Oh, yes, Chancellor, have that basket filled with gold.
Filled with gold, Your Majesty?
Yes, Your Excellencies, but gold that were flowers.
But filled with gold?
Fill it with gold! And so, April has not yet come, but snowdrops have already blossomed out. What do you think of that, dear Professor?
Well, I still consider it wrong.
Wrong?
Yes, Your Majesty, such things don't happen. It says so right here.
Tell us where you found them. Well, why don't you speak?
You tell it. You tell it. It is an easy matter to tell the story, Your Majesty. It was much harder to find the snowdrops in the forest. Why, as soon as we heard your royal proclamation, we both decided that we may risk our lives, we may freeze to death, but we will fulfill Her Majesty's will. It was dark and cold in the forest, Your Majesty, but on and on we went. And we got deeper and deeper into the forest. Well, now we're lost, I thought to myself.
Well, what happened after that?
After that, Your Majesty, the snowdrifts grew higher and higher, the wind colder and colder, and the forest darker and darker. Suddenly, we see two trails, but who maybe we can't tell. Maybe a wolf, maybe a bear, maybe some unknown beast. Well, I say to my daughter, what is to be, is to be. How frightening!
Don't interrupt again. Continue with your story.
Yes, Your Majesty. So on I went down the left trail, and I down the right. And lo and behold, we came to the same place. And what a place! Oh, so marvelous you can't even describe it. The snowdrift stood higher than the tree. And right in the middle, there was a light. Just like the slate was the ground. And it had frozen over, and there were ducks. Oh, and the face was flooded with flowers.
All snowdrops?
Oh, not all of them were snowdrops, Your Majesty. Some of them I didn't know what they were. The whole land was covered in carpet flowers. And beautiful flowers. And birds.
Birds? She didn't mention any birds.
Little ducklings.
A duck's birds.
Yes, swimming birds, Your Majesty, of course. Was there mushrooms too?
Mushrooms too.
And berries.
Strawberries, raspberries, whortleberries, bilberries. Everything was there.
That's wonderful. Go to the forest at once and pick me whortleberries, strawberries, and nuts. What's the matter? You don't want to go.
Oh, my goodness, Your Majesty.
I see you're making fun of me.
Oh, no, I didn't forget, Your Majesty.
These dogs should be handcuffed in jail, Your Majesty. Why? I knew at once all they wanted was to wheedle a basket of gold from us.
I tell Your Majesty, visualized from the start that these two swindlers were cheating us. Who heard of such berries as waffles and beaks?
Whortleberries and bilberries, madam, which grow in our forest in summer, not winter. Oh, but I pray Your Majesty won't be angry with me. But as I stated before, neither nuts nor berries nor snowdrops can grow in our climate in the middle of winter. That's just impossible.
This!
A snowdrop.
are.
I'm sure she could, Your Majesty, if she wanted to.
If she wanted to. How can she refuse if I tell her?
She's very stubborn, Your Majesty.
Well, so am I. We'll see who can out-stubborn whom.
Your Majesty, if she refuses, will you have her head cut off?
I'll say whose head to get cut off. Now, this is my decision. You two will go ahead to the forest, taking the fastest horses with you. And on the way, you'll pick up your little wild animal. And as for everyone else, you'll all take a basket. As the professor will have the largest one, so that he can see how well snowdrops grow in my kingdom in January.
Hello, squirrels.
Oh, hello, Grandpa. A Happy New Year to you. A Happy New Year to you, Grandpa. How are things with you?
There's that.
Grandpa, how many times have you celebrated the New Year?
140.
My, you are an old Raven, Grandpa.
Oh, yes, my turn to die is long overdue, but death has forgotten.
Grandpa, is it true that there's nothing in the world you don't know?
Oh, yes, it's true.
Oh, just tell us all you've seen.
Oh, no, that's too long a story.
Well, make it short, yeah.
Oh, crap!
No, longer than that.
Crap!
We don't understand your crow language.
That's a pity. You should study foreign languages. Take lessons.
There are too many people in this forest, and they all speak their own language. Well, I can talk the hare language a little, and I understand the wolves. But when it comes to bears and badgers, I can't make out a single word.
Oh, that's a pity.
What do you want the wolf for?
Why are you looking for him?
I'm not looking for him. He's looking for me. I need a place to hide.
Well, hop up here, sister. Hippity-hop to the tippity-top. You'll be safe and sound when the wolf comes around. Come on here. Jump! Let me here. Jump on. Oh, yeah, you think it's funny. But the wolf is out to get me. He's been scouring the forest for me. He wants to eat me up. That's bad, Hare. And you better make yourself scarce, because I see the bushes moving. Snow being knocked off. Looks as if you're right about the wolf.
I feel she's here. This time that wandering fool won't get the slip on me. Squirrels! Have you seen the hare?
Yes! No! Yes! Yes! We certainly have! She's been looking for you everywhere. Asking everyone, where's the wolf?
I'll show her where the wolf is. Which way did she go?
That way. Yeah, that way.
the tracks go the other way.
Oh, big party company. Let's see. The hair went that way, and her footprints went that way.
Oh, you nut-tracking rat.
Oh!
You tail twirlers. I'll teach you to make fun of me.
Don't threaten them, Grey One. But better run away to save your skin.
Yeah.
Don't scare me, twisted. You've cheated me twice. I'm not likely to be taken in a third time.
Oh, see to yourself. Only soldiers are marching this way.
I'm not teaching.
Hands over their shoulders.
Tread on somebody.
To hold the company of them. Not to hold the company, or hold a regiment. Now do you believe us? Who is speaking the truth?
I believe my nose. Not you, Raven.
Coward! Coward!
Oh, shut up.
Oh, God. Have you fallen?
No! I just lay down for a rest. It's been quite some time since I slid down a snowdrift.
Uh-huh.
Do you think that is a lake, my dear professor?
What lake?
The one behind you.
What?
Your scarf.
Oh, gee. Oh, there's no signs down my mind that that's a water basin of some sort. Yes, most probably a lake. Yes.
And a perfectly round one at that. Don't you agree?
No, you cannot call this lake perfectly round. You see, it has more of an oval shape. Well, to be precise, we call this elliptical.
I don't care how perfectly round it is from the point of view of science, but to the naked eye, it's round as a plate. I believe this is the very lake we're looking for. Hey there! Duroc. Tell Her Majesty we found a lake as round as a plate.
An elliptical lake.
What kind of lake? Epileptical?
No. Elliptical.
Report as I told you. Round like a plate, and have the men clear a passage down here at once.
Your Majesty, we found the lake!
Your Majesty, I would like to draw your gracious attention to the fact that this lake is as round as a plate.
Elliptical.
That's unimportant. The lake is frozen over and covered with snow on high snowdrifts crowded its banks.
Well, and supposing this is true?
It means that this must be the spot where the snowdrops grow.
Go and pick them.
But they're not here, Your Majesty.
You look for them under the snow. They've dropped there. That's why they're called snowdrops.
Clear the snow from the banks.
Professor, you told me that forests are inhabited by animals.
Right.
Well, I don't see any animals. Where are they? Show them to me.
I believe they're sleeping, Your Majesty.
Sleeping? But so early.
Oh, well, many of them go to sleep as early as 4, Your Majesty. Well, they stay asleep until the snow melts away.
Snow might never melt away. I've never seen snowdrifts so high. I like it. Do you? I'm thrilled about it, Your Majesty. Nature makes me absolutely crazy. Nature has nothing to do with it.
That's not what I meant. I'm crazy about nature.
Well, nature doesn't seem to be too fond of you. You should look in a mirror.
Stop!
Your nose is turned blue. Cover it up with your gloves.
Thank you very much, Your Majesty. But I think you should care more about yourself. Your nose is also a little blue.
Well, that's because I'm cold.
Yes? Professor,
I want you to explain something to me. Here I have a very nice warm coat on, yet I'm still very cold. And this soldier has thrown off even his jacket.
That's easy to explain, Your Majesty. You see, movement helps assist the circulation of blood through the body because he's shoveling.
No, I
the
don't
circulation-
understand movement, circulation of the body.
No, the blood.
Call someone here at once.
Soldier!
Why did you wipe your forehead?
Please forgive me, but
No, why did you wipe your forehead?
Why did you wipe your forehead?
No one's talking to you, Duroc.
well, Your Majesty, because of my foolishness, please.
No,
I did not
don't
mean-
be. I'm not angry. Speak without fear.
Speak without fear!
Why did you wipe your forehead?
Well, I was sweating.
Sweating. Chancellor, what's sweating? Oh.
Your Majesty, that's what we common people say. I mean, I felt hot.
Why are you?
I'm using the spade.
Give
this term is only used by the common people.
Well, the Queen must know the language of her people.
Your Majesty.
What? It pleases me neither to dig nor to wait. Well, where are those women that were to lead us here?
I fear, Your Majesty, they have tricked the guards and escaped.
Well then, if they're not on 1 minute, I'm tired of long last. Here she is, Your Majesty, my stepdaughter.
So, this is what the little forest animal looks like. Don't be afraid. Come closer.
Not afraid.
I expected you to look something quite like a bear, but you turn out to be very beautiful. Well, if garbed in fine dresses, you might look as well as I do. Perhaps better. Chancellor, what do you think of her?
In the presence of my queen, I see no one else.
I forget you are short-sighted. Professor, what's your opinion?
Well, I believe a proper dress is an adornment to everyone. Well, it seems to me, Your Majesty, what this girl needs is not adornments, but, well, a warm coat and warm shawl would be nice for her.
This time you're right. Have a warm coat and shawl brought immediately. Tell me, dear, are you the one that picked the snowdrops?
I am.
Good then. This very day you'll receive a basket full of gold. A whole basket full, you understand? And also, if desired, I could give you many fine dresses made of silk and velvet, rings for each of your fingers, bracelets for your arms. Do you want these things?
Yes. Thank Your Majesty for your kindness.
I'm glad my flowers pleased you. But there's only one thing. Don't give me dresses or bracelets or rings for each of my finger. I don't need any of them.
What do you want?
Just one little ring.
What ring? Oh, don't listen to her, Your Majesty. She doesn't know what she's talking about.
Oh, yes, I do. I had a ring and you took it from me and don't want to give it back.
Did you see me take it?
No. Well, but I know you have it. Hand me that ring, will you?
We don't have it, Your Majesty.
Never seen it.
Well, we all will now. Hand it over.
Come on! Be quick, you old witches! The queen is getting angry!
I knew it.
George, dear, what's ever made you hide someone else's ring?
You're the one who told me to put it in my pocket when it didn't fit your finger.
This is a very beautiful ring. I'm not sure I have one like it myself. Well, if it's yours, take it. Thank you, Your Majesty. Oh, wait! I'll give you the ring, but first tell me where the snowdrops are. I can't do that. You can't? Why not? I mustn't. But don't you understand that I'm the queen, and I want to pick snowdrops? This is my kingdom and my forest and my soil, and I don't even know where they grow. So, be a dear and tell us where they are. You don't want to? Remember, I can reward you, but I can also execute you.
Aren't you afraid of death, you wretched girl? Is it worth dying for the sake of snowdrops?
You should have asked me that last night when you drove me out to pick snowdrops in the blizzard. You stayed at home while I was close to death. Oh, I see. You must have been very frightened in the forest and are still afraid to visit that spot. Well, you don't have to be afraid anymore. We'll take soldiers and they'll clear the way with spades and brooms. And when it gets dark, we'll light the way with torches and lamps. And we'll go by sleigh. It's faster anyway. I know that, Your Majesty. Only we'll never drive down the path that I trod on foot last night. I promise not to show that path to anyone. To whom did you promise? I cannot tell you.
That's unheard of.
Impertinent!
It's an insult to a royal majesty.
An insult it is. Just the type of example of the kind of insults we have to put up with.
Oh, quiet! Take away her fur coat and shawl.
Let her free.
It serves her right.
Don't you think, Your Majesty, it's time we return to the palace?
Yes, Your Majesty. It's getting dark and colder and colder.
I fear Your Majesty will catch cold, and so shall we.
No! We're going today. Let the cold get into her bones and she'll tell us where they grow. Well, are you going to tell us? No. Perhaps you've forgotten about your little ring. You're not going to get it back. I'm going to throw it to the bottom of that icy hole. You're sorry to lose it? Well, so am I, but it can't be helped. So unless you speak. 1, 2, 3. A little ring! She thought I threw it! It's here in my hand. Now tell us where the snowdrops are and you'll get your ring. We'll only pick one basketful. And then after that, I'll have you wrapped in the warmest fur coat. And you can ride in the sleigh back to the palace with me. Well, will you stop being obstinate? Tell us where they are, and you'll get your ring. But keep your secret, and I'll throw it to the bottom of that icy hole. Well, throw it. Oh, so! All right, I'll throw the ring, and I'll see that you follow it.
Roll them a little ring onto the porch of spring, into the summer hall, through the house of fall, over winter's carpet white, to the brothers' coverlet.
What's that she's saying?
Your Majesty, what are we doing here? What are these
My lady in waiting, what's happening? We should go home. Professor, what's going on?
Chancellor, what's going on?
You're supposed to know everything. Look it up. Go away! Who are you? What do you want? Did you hear what I told you?
Your Majesty,
I said go away!
Run away!
Where are you going? Don't leave me here! Where's the girl gone to? I need the girl! Run away, the wretch! Never mind, I don't need her. Look, it's spring!
Spring? That's impossible! Can't be spring! Look! Nevertheless, the cat! The fox! You read!
What is it, summer? I believe I'm sweating. Bring me an umbrella, will you?
Don't leave me, Your Majesty! I'm a fortune! Your fortune! I'm left on the seal!
I am angry! I'll have the 6 say you'll be executed! Who are you? What do you want? Get away from me! Did you hear what I said? Professor, where are you? Soldier, do your job! Attack! Help! It's not me that you want, it's the little girl that had the ring! Help! Go away! Sneg! Winter's on again!
Snow. That's very problem. After all, it's January. I
But I'm so cold!
It's a terrible thing to get wet first and frozen afterwards. But I'm afraid all the fur coats have been blown away.
Really? What's that?
Give back the state's property.
It was the state's before it became mine!
Well, now it's the state's again.
No!
Now give it.
No! No!
Icification. That's icification.
Oh, shut up!
Your Majesty, I'm afraid that there's no way this coat can be put back together, much less worn.
Order the slaves to be brought back! The snow's on the ground. They can ride over it!
That's right, Your Majesty.
We're lost! Out of here, my poor brother!
Quiet! Somebody's coming!
Oh, that's for me! Oh, everybody thought it was you!
What has brought you here, my friends?
We've come for snowdrops.
This is not the season for snowdrops.
That's perfectly right. I've been trying so.
We realized that ourselves, that we came at the wrong time, so will you show us a way out?
The same way you came in.
Oh.
Well, we seem to have misplaced our sleigh. Can you show us another way? I'll reward you right royally, all the silver and gold you need.
I don't need it. I have everything. I have more silver than you've ever seen in your whole life. As for gifts, you better tell me what I can do for you. Tell me what you want from the new year, what your wishes are.
My mother and me, we want two fur coats. Oh, please.
Oh, what's the hurry, girl?
What's the good of waiting? We need fur coats now. Oh, please, it's so cold. Any fur, dog fur.
Excuse me, ma'am. She didn't mean what she said.
What was said. Put on the coats. Let them last you a lifetime.
You are a fool. If you wanted fur, you could have asked the same thing for yourself. You should have told me that in time. Oh, not only did you get yourself a dog fur, but you got one from me.
You don't want to give it to me. I'll be warmer. You keep freeze to death for all I care.
Give it to you? Not in your life. So we had to go rushing off for what? Dog fur?
Dog fur suits you just fine. You act like a dog.
You are a dog yourself.
And now, what is your wish, soldier?
What do I need? Just a warm campfire to sit by. It's cold out here.
The campfire. You'll have it. Your cheeks are burning.
I don't mind. I rather like a blazing fire.
We know. That's why we've let you sit at ours.
Thank you. Twice you've saved my life.
The first time we felt sorry for you and allowed you to warm yourself. The second time you earned it.
You kept your word and we have kept ours.
Guess what I have in my hand?
The ring?
Right the first time. Take your ring. Wear it and you'll always have warmth and light, no matter if there's a winter frost or an autumn mist. Although they say April is a fickle month, the April sun, take it from me, will never deceive you.
Thank you, April.
Don't worry, Your Majesty. You'll soon be warm.
Will you not come nearer? You'll get warmer that way.
Isn't this the same girl that got me the snowdrops? Look how beautifully she's dressed now.
That's her, all right. There's no mistake about it. Good evening, ma'am. Good evening, good company.
Good evening.
We meet for the third time, I reckon. But I can hardly recognize you. You look like a queen.
What are you saying?
That's just a matter of speech, Your Majesty. Oh, my. Your teeth are chattering. You better go warm yourself by the fire.
This is a marvelous sleigh. I've never seen anything like it even in the royal stables. Whose is it?
There's the odor.
Permit me to congratulate you on your purchase, ma'am.
It wasn't a purchase. It was a gift.
Gift? I want
a gift. I want to go back to the palace, but I have no sleigh.
Well, why not ask for a ride in her sleigh, Your Majesty?
No.
No. There's nothing more to be done about that.
Your Majesty.
What?
Well, as I was saying, Majesty, you know, we're still an awful way from the palace, and it's a fierce cold. Well, a regular January cold, if I may say so. But you'll freeze to death, and I'll never get home if you don't get a warm coat, a warm shawl, and ride in the sleigh will be good.
What should I do, Your Majesty?
How can I ask her? I've never asked a favor of anyone in my life. And suppose she says no. She's just as likely to say yes. It's not that. What then? I had her fur coat taken away from her. I wanted her to drown. I threw her ring into an icy hole. No. Besides, I can't ask. I wasn't taught to ask. I can only order. I'm a queen. Oh, I see. We had no idea of that. Look here, my dear. Give me a ride in your sleigh. I'll reward you right royally.
Thank you, Your Majesty. I have everything I need.
You see, I said she'd refuse, and she did. Did I say it wrong?
No, Your Majesty. What you said, the point of view of grammar was absolutely correct.
Your Majesty! Your Majesty! I'm not a scholar. I'm only a soldier, and I understand very little about grammar. But please, allow me to instruct you this one time.
Well, speak.
If I were Your Majesty, I wouldn't offer her any more rewards. You've offered plenty before. But I would simply ask her, would you be so kind as to take me along with you?
I think I see what you mean. Please, take us along with you. We're freezing.
I'll take you along with me. Gladly. I can even give you fur coats for the professor and the soldier as well. I have a lot of them.
Oh, thank you. And for one coat, I'll give you 12 of the most...
Doing it again.
I won't. I thank you.
And now it's time for both of you to return home. Then we shall be your guests for a change.
We'll stay with you in turn, and each will bring his own gift.
We monks are rich folk. All you'll have to do is accept our gift.
In your garden, you'll have such trees, flowers, berries, and fruits that have never been seen before in this world.
I'll never forget my New Year's campfire.
Neither shall I.
Goodbye, months.
Goodbye, months.
Goodbye. Burn yourself out, campfire. Turn into embers and die. Trip from the logs with snow. Over the bushes foot high. Climb to the frozen treetops. Curl away into the sky. Burn yourself out, campfire. Turn into embers and die. The young moon